What is a quote from a comedian you'll never forget?
I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to, too.
Richard Belzer talking about Reagan. We have a cowboy actor from Hollywood as president, and I'm supposed to sleep at night without drugs.
Think of how the average person is, and realize half of them are stupider than George Carlin.
I like plugging the drain when I take a shower. Then pretend I'm in a sub that's been right tilde.
That's a challenging won't spit on you when we're having Sean Locke, both.
It's a big club and you ain't in it, George Carlin.
George is my favorite. I've seen him live twice. Ever notice that most of the people against abortion are people you wouldn't want to the first place?
You can fool some of the people all of the time, and all of the people some of the time, which is just long enough to be president of the United Spike Milligan.
So, I sit at the hotel at night and I think of something that's funny. Or, if the too far away, I have to convince myself that what I thought of wasn't.
I used to love Mitch Hedberg. I still do, but I used to, too.
I spilled spot remover on my dog, now he's.
Rice is great if you're really hungry and want to eat 2,000 of something. Mitch Hedberg.
The very existence of flamethrowers means that sometime, somewhere, someone said to themselves, you know, I want to set those people over there on fire, but I'm just not close enough to get the job.
People commit suicide and people go, I don't understand why. And I go, you don't? What do you live in a cotton candy house or something? What the? Norm Macdonald.
I'm telling my husband you said I was he white.
Soul Plane was the worst experience of my life involving a Davidson, at the roast of Justin Bieber. For anyone who doesn't know, Pete Davidson's father was killed on 9/11. The joke couldn't be delivered by anyone else, it was witty, and it still stands as my favorite roast joke ever.
An escalator can never break, it can only become stairs. You should never see an escalator temporarily out of order sign, just escalator temporarily stairs. Sorry for the Hedberg.
There's plenty of reasons to hit her, you just don't do that.
My brother-in-law is German. He came to me and said, I can't get a good bagel at home. And I said, well, whose fault is that? Emo Phillips.
George Carlin. I'm getting in the Martin. I just bought an L-shaped couch. It's a lowercase L.
If you're gonna miss heaven, why do it by 2 inches? Sam Kinison.
I saw an old man get hit by it in the pouring rain. He didn't hear me shout, look out for the because I didn't say Burnham.
Of course science doesn't know everything. If it did, it would stop. Dara O'Brien.
Outside of a dog, a book is man's best friend. Inside of a dog, it's too dark to, Groucho Marx.
You can't have what you put it? Stephen Wright.
It says here in this history book that, luckily, the good guys have won every single time. What are the odds?
Cocaine is God's way of saying you make too much money. Robin Williams.
The wisest man I ever met told me something I'll never forget, and although I'll never forget it, I never quite memorized it either, so I am left with the memory of having learned something very wise that I can't quite. George Carlin.
Dogs are always in the push-up, Mitch Hedberg.
I have the world's largest collection of seashells. I keep them on all the beaches of the world. Perhaps you've seen it.
Every night, I used to pray to the Lord for a new bicycle. Then I realized he doesn't work that way, so I stole one and asked him to forgive.
One time, this guy handed me a picture of him. He said, here's a picture of me when I was every pictures of you when you were younger. Here's a picture of me when I'm you. How do you pull that off? Let me see that. What's it look like?
What is it like to have 4 kids? Imagine you are drowning, and then someone hands you a Jim Gaffigan.
I'd for a Nobel Peace Prize.
If alcohol is a crutch, then Jack Daniels is the Robin Williams.
Nationalism does nothing but teach you to hate people you never met, and to take pride in accomplishments you had no part stand up.
Today a young man on acid realized that all matter is merely energy condensed to a slow vibration, that we are all one consciousness experiencing itself subjectively. There is no such thing as death. Life is only a dream, and we are the imagination of ourselves. Here's Tom with the X200B, Bill Hicks. Another dead hero.
Everybody thinks they're a comedian. Especially in my line of Norm Macdonald. This came from his memoir, based on a true story, a must-read for Norm fans. My favorite thing about this line is that it was a sort of random throwaway, almost an afterthought, as he was expressing disdain for a doctor who told a joke and got a big laugh from everyone else in that doctor's joke. It was the moth story.
Make all guns every bullet cost 5,000 way when someone gets shot you know that deserved rock.
Convicted hitman Jimmy Two Shoes McClarty confessed today that he was once hired to beat a cow to death in a rice field using only 2 small porcelain figures. Police admit this may be the first known case of a knick-knack mockery.
I like escalators, they can never break, they can only become stairs, sorry for the convenience.
Once I saw this guy on a bridge about to jump. I said, "Don't do it." He said, "Nobody loves." I said, "God loves you. Do you believe in?" He said. I said, "Are you a Christian or a Jew?" He said, I said, "Me, too. Protestant or Catholic?" He said. I said, "Me, too. What franchise?" He said. I said, "Me, too. Northern Baptist or Southern Baptist?" He said, "Northern." I said, "Me, too. Northern Conservative Baptist or Northern Liberal Baptist?" He said, "Northern Conservative." I said, "Me, too. Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes Region, or Northern Conservative Baptist Eastern Region?" He said, "Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes." I said, "Me, too. Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes Region Council of 1879, or Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes Region Council of 1912. He said, "Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes Region Council of." I said, "Die, heretic." And I pushed him the great Emo Phillips.
I don't have a girlfriend. I just know a lady who'd be upset if they heard me say that.
I'm impulsive, but I'm also quite indecisive. I don't know what I want, but I know that I want it. Dylan Moran.
I'm pretty sure, I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure if you die, the cancer dies at the same time. That's not a loss, that's a...
The meal isn't over when I'm full. It's over when I hate edit. Yes, this is Louis C.K.
I've started cooking with wine. That sounds so fancy, cooking with wine. What I do is I get and I make rice. I tell my friends, come over. I'm cooking with they come over. And there's rice everywhere. Kevin Nealon.
With the more I learn about that guy, the more I don't care for.
When you are on fire, and running down the street, people will get out of your Richard Pryor.
I'm sick of following my dreams. I'm just going to ask them where they're going, and hook up with them. Mitch Hedberg.
I love rice. It's perfect if you're hungry and want like 2,000 of.
Every guy has a crazy girlfriend story. Why don't women have crazy men stories? Because if you have a crazy boyfriend, you gon' die. Donald Glover.
Camping is such a terrible idea. Go out, sleep in the woods in a tent. I pay my taxes so that doesn't happen.
Stretching. How long will that take to fix it? Fix it? No. That's just something you do till you and your ankle both.
I don't like country music, but I don't mean to denigrate those who do. And for the people who like country music, denigrate means, put, Bob Newhart.
I find a duck's opinion of me is very much influenced by whether or not I have Mitch Hedberg.
Most people are afraid of heights. I'm afraid of widths.
When Norm Macdonald was on Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee and he brings up Cosby. Seinfeld seems uncomfortable. Norm. Now do you think Cosby's legacy will be hurt? Jerry. Yeah. Norm. You do? Huh. I mean, there's a comedian, Patton Oswalt, he told me, I think the worst part of the Cosby thing was and I disagreed. Jerry. You disagreed with that? Norm. Yeah. I thought it was the
Norm Macdonald, right?
I think they named oranges before they named carrots.
Ever notice how you have stuff, and everyone else has, asterisk, move you out of the way. I need more room for my stuff.
I didn't want to be in public. I wanted to be in a bar. They threw me into public.
Tell that to Henrietta Lacks.
Every time you clog a toilet, you exceeded someone's expectations.
Indeed.
Me and my wife can't have kids, not the way we do it. Jimmy Carr.
I saw him deliver this joke live recently on his tour with Weird Al. His pausing and pace between each bit just makes it better the longer it runs.
I'm not an adventurous person. I've only ever used one side of a cheese grater. James Acaster.